A lot of people think that's just part of what you're supposed to do to sell a house, and you'd be shocked to see what the statistics are.
What's the number one secret to providing high-level fiduciary services?
Well, I think really the main thing is you want to avoid mistakes. And there's a lot of common mistakes that people make. And unfortunately, most of them never realize they make it. And it's these mistakes that have been driving me crazy for my whole career. And my real quick story about this book is I got upset about how the industry was telling us certain things to do, which really were not serving the client. It was really serving the realtor in terms of generating leads. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about open houses. I'm talking about real estate signs. I'm talking about mailers and door knockers and all these things that realtors do that make a lot of people think that's just part of what you're supposed to do to sell a house. And you'd be shocked to see what the statistics are. So I started doing research on all of this and finding that a lot of the stuff that the agents are doing, you just froze up. So I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Still here. Keep going. Just
Okay.
the video might have to catch up to us in a couple seconds, but keep going.
Got it. So I started writing what's called a white paper, and some folks that may know about those, it's kind of like a research paper. And I love statistics. I love data because it doesn't lie. And found that not only were, for example, open houses almost completely ineffective, they're incredibly dangerous. And so I started writing a research paper. I met a guy who is a publisher, and he said there's a great book there. And I thought, well, I'll write a book. So it took me 5 years to write a book. And if any of your listeners are out there listening and thinking about writing a book, let me tell you, it is hard. It's a lot of work. I never want to do it again. But the results has been fantastic. I was hoping to sell 200 books. I sold 38,000 books. It hit the Wall Street Journal bestseller list last September. It was number 3. I've never written a book before. It's just, and it's really taken off. And I think it's because there's been a real thirst for this kind of information because it's out there, but it's not really out there. The real estate community knows these numbers, but we don't really tell people what the true effective is of a lot of their actions. For example, we just talked about open houses, and open houses have about a 3% effectiveness rate, but most home sellers believe that you have to do open houses like crazy to sell your house. But guess what? If you're a real estate agent, you want to do open houses because guess who comes to open houses? Potential sellers, looky-loos, and neighbors. Real buyers don't really go to open houses. Now, they will go to open houses, but if somebody really wants to buy your house and there's no open house, trust me, motivated buyers will make an appointment.
Makes sense. Okay, so the number one secret is avoiding the mistakes of maybe the conventional thinking of certain things that are going to be effective for sellers. So really giving them what's the meat, what really works. And one of those, for example, is open houses. Is that a fair summary so far on the first secret?
That's one of the many secrets, yeah. And just to go back, it's funny that I think your audience would appreciate this. The working title of the book was High Level Fiduciary Sales. And for folks that understand what a fiduciary relationship is, it's a very high level relationship that you have with a client. It's the same type of relationship a doctor has to his patient and an attorney has to his client or her client. And but it's kind of a boring title. So I just focused on seller mistakes. And one of the first mistakes in this book, and I'll show this book. It's not trying to sell the book, but I'd be happy to give it away for free too if anybody wants to reach. I'm not trying to sell books. Let's just put that out. I want to get the information out there, and it's on Amazon. But one of the number one things you can do to make sure you don't make mistakes is hire a really good top agent. Same in your business. There's a lot of folks. I don't think there's that many folks that do what you do. There's just a lot of realtors out there, let me tell you. But you really have to hone in on the number 1 or number 2 in your marketplace, because usually they'll avoid all the mistakes that the common realtor makes.
So hire the best is secret number 2, right? Don't settle for those that aren't as experienced, those aren't as proven. Pick and find the best. That fair summary for secret number 2?
That could be number 2.